What up, world? Welcome to an episode of the BrandonJaneauShow. As you know, I am Brandon Janeau, and like always on all podcast platforms everywhere. BrandonJaneauShow. Social media, Instagram, Threads, BrandonJaneau. Excuse me. Facebook, the BrandonJaneauShow, and of course, TikTok, BrandonJaneauShow. Go subscribe. Go follow me on all of those social media platforms. I really appreciate it. We getting some crazy algorithms on TikTok, so clearly something's going on. I don't know what. Maybe I'm talking about some things that people like. People just want to debate, discuss, disagree with me on. I don't fucking know. With this damn generation, we fucking don't know nowadays. But where you can go is my YouTube channel. That's where you really can go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Uh, BrandonJaneauShow. Subscribe, comment. I do comment back. Follow me on. Uh, Subscribe to the YouTube. It helps with the algorithms if you like the vids and you comment. So yes, let's do this, man. It's Tuesday, so you already know it's I Bleed Sports. It's only right. It's only right. Boxing had an amazing weekend this past weekend. I'm talking about boxing, of course. Of course, this weekend Tank Davis returns to the ring. I can't wait to talk about some boxing. That was a pretty great event. Of course, the NFL. I'll be doing another sign and draft. Of course, tonight is the number two team in the draft, the Cleveland Browns. To talk about that. Also, talk about some of the news that's going on in the NFL right now. Some quarterbacks that should be getting moved and maybe talked about here. Um, and some teams getting in their feelings over the goddamn touch push, but we'll talk about that in a minute. The NBA is in full stride now. Everybody's now is focusing on the NBA, which means they should be now picking it up. But I'm gonna talk about a team tonight that might need to start thinking about what the fuck they're gonna do with their future. In a new segment I'm calling Team Time to Blow It Up NBA Edition. It is time to blow it up. Who is that team that I will be talking about tonight on Time to Blow It Up? And of course, kicking it off like this. So me and my brother want to talk about this morning. Baseball. Baseball has officially ended their contract with ESPN. It is officially done. I'm assuming we're still gonna have baseball tonight because it's still sports. Baseball tonight on ESPN. I remember when I used to be a kid and baseball tonight used to come on and used to see the web gyms and all these things and it used to be exciting. Baseball has lost its luster over the last, I would say, decade maybe. From where it was to where it is now, it has lost its luster. It has lost it. And maybe that's on the general manager, Lord Jesus, the commissioner, Rob Manfred of the MLB. The fact that he has not positioned baseball in a better position since becoming the commissioner of that sport is fucking embarrassing. It's fucking bad. And now you just lost pretty much one of your biggest contracts in ESPN, and you decided to end that shit. You better have a goddamn plan in place, bro. The MLB network isn't always subscribed to everybody. Everybody does not have the MLB network. If you probably buy the MLB league pass, a pass, whatever they call it, you don't get every team. Even if you are in a certain city, you might not get your team. I love the Chicago Cubs. I might not see the Cubs this year now because, well, the Cubs are a major marketing team. They're probably going to get played at certain points throughout the season, maybe on TBS, maybe, but they got to be on a hot streak to even get maybe the TBS look or maybe even the Fox look. They got to be on it. But again, they are one of the teams. They are one of the major market teams, so it could go that way. But at the same time, this is a very stupid, problematic situation that should have just been avoided. The the commissioner of baseball has positioned baseball in the worst fucking position. And now you look at what just happened this past week with how hockey took the forefront of sports for a moment. When it came to sports conversation, it was basketball, some football, but hockey got talked about more than baseball did. This is a big problem. This is a massive problem that baseball now has lost one of the most impactful contracts in their league, where no matter what, Sunday night baseball, you had it. You had Sunday night baseball, you had what, Wednesday baseball on ESPN. Those nights were centered around you. And now you have shot that down. You took it away because you feel some type of way about them not covering baseball the way you wanted to be covered. Bruh, baseball's not exciting right now. And it's just the facts. I mean, listen, the Dodgers won the World Series. I don't think a person gave a fuck that the Dodgers won the World Series. Outside of the Dodgers and Yankees playing against each other, that shit went through one ear and out the other. Nobody gives a fuck about the Dodgers like that. And it sucks that that is a huge market team, but that didn't even save baseball. Yankees and the Dodgers. Like I said this shit. That had been the plan for damn near shit for 5 fucking years. They've been trying to get that World Series for like 6, 7, 8 years since Aaron Judge moved into the league, and they've been trying to make that World Series. They've been trying. That has been the key series that they've always tried to make happen. They finally got it, got their viewership up for the World Series, and literally in 2 months, nobody even thought about it again. Nobody talked about it. Wasn't a conversation that needed to be had. What's going on? And now you just said fuck ESPN because you're not covering the sport the way we need you to cover the sport. Okay. And listen, ESPN is not great at covering every sport. They're not awesome at talking about sports nowadays. They kind of suck at it. They're more of a variety act of they're more of a variety act of journalists, keyword journalists, that kind of just go on TV and just start talking. None of them really know what the fuck they be talking about. You watch first, it's like you watch Get Up and First Take. Most of the fucking people that talk, the only person that's actually entertaining is Pat McAfee, and I don't even watch his show like that. This shit is bad, man. But that's a stupid fucking thing. You just shot down a contract that, like I said, on Sundays, Wednesdays, it was baseball night on ESPN. You didn't have to do shit for the entire summer. Now I think the contract ends this year. So at least you have one more fucking year of ESPN. But after that, what the fuck are we watching baseball during the summer? TBS, Fox, FS1. I don't understand I don't understand the decision making. That's very fucking stupid. That's overthinking your positioning. You think you know what the fuck you're doing, and you don't. And you fucking don't. The commissioner of baseball fucked up. He fucked up bad. I don't care that you feel some type of way about how they're covering your league. For at least 2 nights every fucking summer, you had Sunday and Wednesday on lock. And you could do whatever the fuck you wanted to do with that baseball schedule. Baseball hasn't had a boom period in years. And it's crazy to think that. They haven't had a boom period. On top of that, they also see this is the and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna talk about this is kind of the problem. I will say this is why so many people are adamant about basketball having a face of the league because baseball have tons of faces of the league, but they're international players. They're not American. I've been very vocal about. Excuse me. I don't think Aaron Judge is a great representation of what baseball is. The dude's like 6'6", and all he does is hit fucking home runs. He's not like a super athletic, over the top, great baseball player. He's okay for what he can do. He's okay. But when I look at him and I look at Shohei Ohtani, it's two fucking different athletes. It's two fucking. You got a slugger and an actual fucking baseball player. Like it's two different fucking shit. Like it's two different things. Me and my brother want to talk about this all the time about baseball. It's like you are trying to make an American player stand out and they can't do it because nobody relates to them like that. Especially if you want to play the game. Instead of y'all selling it, Shohei. Instead of y'all selling Shohei, and when Fernando Tatis was the guy, and 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 and, and the guys in Atlanta, instead of you selling that, you don't sell it. It's you got to realize Mike Trout is getting older. Bryce Harper is getting older. Mookie Betts can only play at a certain level at a certain level for only a limited amount of time now. You don't have that many American players coming into this game because now they're looking at it and being like, yeah, outside of the money, there's nothing that's engaging me to be a baseball player. I look at football and they're getting guaranteed contracts and crazy ass money. I can go play football. Basketball, as much as I probably don't have to play with that much passion, I can go and get money from basketball. I don't have to play baseball. Baseball used to be a thing. Like you wanted to be a baseball player when you were a kid. Like that was something. I played little league. Like that was something. And the seasons that I really loved when I was a kid. Like I used to watch Sammy and Mark McGuire and Barry Bonds and Ichiro, and when the Yankees got Derek Jeter and Gary Sheffield and like in the Cubs, like I used to watch this shit. I used to love this shit. I grew up in New Orleans, but we used to have WGN Chicago and TBS, which is in Atlanta. So I used to watch the Braves and the Cubs and the White Sox my entire young baseball life. And then the Mets when they had Mike Piazza. And I used to love baseball. Now, the only way I kind of get interested in baseball is if I go to the fucking game. And even in that sense, it gets fucking boring. So, yeah, I am 100% uh shocked. I'm not shocked, but this is a stupid fucking move by the commissioner of baseball. This is very stupid because you're trying to now sit there and tell everybody we're a prized possession when you have nothing that makes us want to watch you. Outside of the Dodgers, outside of the Yankees, Astros when they're good, outside of these teams that we know, if you're not a super huge fan of the Diamondbacks, if you're not a super huge fan of the Padres, if you're not a super huge fan of the White Sox, I don't know who the fuck still the fans of the White Sox at this point in their tender, but okay. If you're a super huge fan of the Oakland Athletics, do you know they're not actually playing in Oakland anymore? They're playing actually in Sacramento, and then because they're moving to Vegas in a couple years, did you even fucking know that? It's like if you don't know this shit, you don't care. Baseball used to be important. Baseball used to be just as important as football and basketball, and it's been replaced, man. It's being replaced, and maybe that goes into. I said this maybe about a couple months ago or some shit like this when I said the hockey commissioner has positioned hockey way better than baseball's commissioner has positioned baseball. Look at the world now. Look at sports now. Hockey's more considered an actual sport that you have to talk about, especially after what you just saw this past weekend with the past week with the four nations. I was looking forward to that fucking game. I was looking forward to seeing Canada and the U.S. I was looking forward to it. By the way, which now brings me into what I want to also say, which is, can hockey surpass baseball? I don't think they can. I think they have. I think hockey has officially supplanted themselves as the third biggest sports well, fourth biggest behind college football. Not just topic football. Not just football. But even the WNBA is getting interesting. Like you got the the unrivaled league going on right now with the women. But the WNBA, you got of course you got WNBA, their free agency that just happened that's going on right now. You got of course um Caitlin Clark doing thing, Sabrina Nescu, Brianna Stewart, you know Alyssa Thompson. You got all of this movement that just happened with the Spark and the Ace in the Seattle Storm. This shit is getting interesting in the WNBA. They're not there yet, but they're getting there. You got Paige Becker's coming out of this draft coming soon. You got a lot of girls in. I think Juju Watkins maybe got like 1 or 2 more years left in her. But when she comes out, she's gonna be a talk of the town. Yeah, man. WNBA may not be there yet, but they're getting there. But hockey has clearly supplanted themselves in front of baseball. And you might not watch hockey every day, like I don't. I don't watch hockey every day. But when a game is interesting, like the U.S. versus Canada was, that's interesting, man. To see Alex Ovechkin get close to breaking, you know, getting close to breaking the score, the all-time scoring record from Wayne Gretzky. Like he's 13 goals away from breaking the record. He can be a man that I've watched since he got into the league can become the all-time scoring champion. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking nuts. That shit is nuts. I've always said Allen Ovechkin was seen as kind of a great hockey player, but until he won that ring, until he won the Stanley Cup a couple years ago with the Capitals, he was never going to be seen like Sid the Kid. He's going to be like, well, he can score. He's a great player, but he doesn't have the trophies to prove it. But when he won, his level of greatness just went to another fucking level. It was like, oh shit, like no, he's really fucking good. Like he's one of the greatest to ever do it. Now that he's actually closing in on the actual scoring record, it's fucking crazy to me. I can't wait to see him get it. It's like Barry Bonds hitting the home run record. It's like that shit is something that you're going to watch. You're going to pay attention to. And for him to still be playing at this level, and I just saw Sid the Kid, who's one of my favorite hockey players of all time. I just watched Sid the Kid, who's one of my favorite hockey players of all time, just help Canada win the fucking, the Four Nations game. Like the young up and comer McDavid, who has become one of the best hockey players in the last 2 3 years since he got drafted by the Oilers. That is what brings excitement. Like it brought some excitement to the game. It brought some excitement to the league because now people that wasn't maybe engaged in hockey like that the last couple of years, you got engaged very fast. You know how? Because they play with the nations. Nation pride is a hard man. Country pride is a very impactful thing nowadays. So, in all ways in sports. But I don't want to see the NBA do that shit at the All Star game. That shit is be so fucking stupid. I'm sorry. It'd be so stupid. It'd be so fucking dumb. They'll do it. But yeah. But yes, hockey I think has clearly surpassed baseball in the minds of sports fans because if you don't know all these players in hockey like that, you might get to. You might actually, if you watch the league, you might actually get interested. And again, where baseball is failing to relate to this new generation, or at least relate to casual sports fans, hockey is starting to catch that shit. And they're starting to get hot. It reminds me of the early 2000s or mid 2000s when you got Sid the Kid. You had the Red Wings go off and do great things for years. You had, like I said, Sid the Kid with the Penguins. You had Allen Ovechkin in Washington. You had a time period where the Los Angeles Kings was actually one of the best teams in fucking hockey. The Rangers came out of nowhere. It was a shit. My Chicago Blackhawks. You know what I mean? Like we were a dynasty for a minute. Like it was great to see that shit. So yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. But hockey has surpassed baseball. It surpassed it. Nobody's gonna say it because it's just like but it's baseball still. Hockey with that four nations, it made it become more. It talk. We talked about hockey for the first time, I think, since I was since I was a kid. We actually talked about hockey. Like it was like an open conversation in the sports world. It was like, oh shit, hockey's actually good. Like what the fuck? It's been a minute since we've had that. So yeah, and on top of that, like I said, the positioning of how hockey has been positioned in the last couple years, where they are getting these TV deals, they're getting the TNTs, they're getting the ESPNs, they're getting where they were kind of like in a dormant type of situation, where baseball was kind of still being able to still relate off of just being baseball. Baseball has kind of fell in a little bit into the hockey shit, where it's kind of like now you don't have the players, you don't have the representation. Nobody's really looking forward to watching you as much. If we go to the game, cool, but it's like somebody got to give me some tickets. I'm not just gonna go to the fucking baseball game and pay my fucking money. But here, even with the Astros are one of the best teams in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Them tickets are cheap as shit. Them tickets are like $20. I've been to a couple baseball games. I paid like $20 for some fucking Astro tickets. I don't know how much hockey tickets are. I don't have a hockey team near me. If I wanted to probably go to Dallas and see the Dallas Stars play with gas and all that other shit, that should be a good 200 $200. Just off of the fact that I gotta drive to Dallas. I gotta go to the game. I gotta get something to eat at some point. That's a good like 250, like $300. I don't even know how much the ticket is actually gonna be itself. Just off of the travel, it's $100, 250, maybe $300. For what? A four? What? How long is Houston to Dallas? Like 4 hours, some shit like that. That's a good drive, man. It's a good fucking drive, like 4 hour drive from Houston to Dallas. So yeah, but hockey has surpassed baseball. Something that needs to come back to life, and I think this past weekend kind of did that. Boxing. Boxing is finally heating back up, man. Thank God it's finally doing it, man. The Beavidov, Bivol versus Beavidov 2 was great. It was a great fight. It was an amazing fight. That whole card was fucking good. I watched that whole card from the beginning to damn near the end. Mm. That whole card was fucking good. I got a chance to finally see Virgil Ortiz Jr. fight. That was a really great fight that he had. I got a chance, you know, Shakur Stevenson finally returned to the ring after breaking his hand. Excuse me. After breaking his hand, the man he fought took what 4 day notice to go fight him in fucking Dubai. I mean, that shit's crazy. Speaking of another fight that had to have a replacement, Josh Parker uh, had to fight a replacement. Um, Bukoli, I think is his name. Yeah, Bukoli. He fought Bukoli. And of course the main event, Bivol Bivadov 2. Let's get into it. Boxing was back this weekend, man. Boxing had a pretty great card. This was a stacked fucking card. It was a really good card. Shakur Stevenson. I get the joke, the running joke on social media is Shakur Stevenson fights are boring. That's the running joke on social media. I've seen more Shakur Stevenson fights that aren't boring, that isn't really that boring, but to people it's boring because they see the ability that this kid got. They see the way he can box. And some people also say he kind of runs in his fights. I don't think he runs. I think that he knows how good he is. So why put himself in those types of situations? That's how you know what boxing, who are boxing fans, who the fuck are not. Because you would sit there with a straight face and try to tell me that his fights are boring. He's had way more fights where they were very exciting. If you never saw the Oscar Valdez fight, what he had against Oscar Valdez, or even him and Jamal Herring, he beat the shit out them dudes. Like that shit was embarrassing. He beat that ass. Like pillar to post. That was full belt to ass. Uh, like belt to ass 100. He beat the shit out of Jamal Herring. He beat the shit out of Oscar Valdez. That shit was bad. I'm like watching. He beat the Asian guy. Oh man, that shit was bad. I'm like, God damn, just quit, dude. Like it's not that important. Like just quit. Cut your losses, my nigga. Just quit. He was injured in one of those fights that he had, and a lot of people just like, oh man, his fights are boring. He was hurt, bro. He was fucking hurt. He even told y'all that. He was hurt, bro. Was it the greatest situation probably for him to have? No, he was hurt. He probably should have pulled out that fight, but I give him a credit for fucking even fucking attempting to fight in that match. And he won. It's not like he lost. He won. He did enough to win. Um, Even the last fight he had before he got the hand injury, with old dude, it wasn't a great fight. That was a boring fight. I would definitely say that. I went to sleep on it. That was a boring fucking fight. I would definitely say that because he should have knocked his ass out. And that's another thing about boxing fans. We kind of also, if we don't get knockouts, we think the shit is boring. And I would say boxing fans, casual fans. If you don't get a knockout, you think the shit is boring. It's not fucking boring. The match itself wasn't boring. This fight this past Saturday against Josh, uh, I forgot the dude's last name. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The guy that he fought him. That fight was not boring. It wasn't. Um, Shakur can fight, man. Shakur can box his ass off. He has an incredible IQ. If you've heard me talk about Shakur versus Tank, I like Tank way more. I think Tank is just a better boxer than Shakur. I think Tank has the defensive ability, and he's got an IQ. He's got the defensive ability, but he's also got the power. I think people overrate Tank, and they try to make it seem. But Shakur, I said this Saturday to my uncle and my brothers in the text messages after the fight. I said, man, Shakur can easily beat Tank off a point because Tank takes forever to kind of get himself ramped up. Shakur has the speed and the boxing acumen and the boxing ability to stay out of Tank's way enough. The problem with Shakur is that's when the running will actually help him. It will actually benefit him if he can actually get the fuck out of Tank's way. Get the first 4 or 5 rounds because Tank is gonna take his fucking time. He's gonna try to figure you out, and then get the fuck on your bike and pedal. Get the fuck on your bike and pedal. That's one of those times where you get on your bike and you fucking pedal. And people will sit there and be like, oh, he ran from that. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, you did. I did run. You goddamn right I did. That is the thing about this situation. I think Shakur could beat Tank. Like I've said this before. As much as I fuck with Tank, Shakur could beat Tank. He can beat Tank. Now, the problem with that is that Shakur is gonna have to keep Tank off his ass for a good bit of the portion of the fight where Tank does rev up and try to go get him. Because if Tank feels like you don't have power to stop him, then he's probably gonna come get you, and that's where the problem kicks in. So I thought the fight Shakur had Saturday was great. I thought he did exactly what he needed to do. He fought an incredible fight. He won the fight. Not only did he win it, he knocked dude down 3 times in the last round that they fought. So you can't sit there and say he's not good. That's bullshit. He is good. He is good. Oh, his fights are boring. That's not the case. But where I think a lot of people continuously want from Shakur is like they want him to be this knockout artist, and you don't get that. So you think he's fucking boring. He's not. He's actually Floyd, Money Floyd, where he doesn't have to knock you out. And of course, also with Floyd Mayweather, his hands became an issue for him as he got, older. And Floyd tried not to really insert his power as much because of his hands. I'm seeing that right now with Shakur. Shakur hurt his hand again in this goddamn fight. If you didn't watch that fight, if you watched that fight, you saw it immediately. He started grimacing every time he tried to punch him with the left. He started grimacing. So it's just like, yeah, I think Shakur's great. I think Shakur can always, like I said, I think Shakur can beat Tank off points. I don't think Shakur can knock Tank out by no stretch of the imagination. It just fucking walks into it, and where Shakur just breaks him down. But I think if Tank really wanted to just go get Shakur, he can go get him. But outside of that, I don't think Shakur could beat Tank in a sense of like of I don't think Shakur could beat Tank in a sense of like knocking him out. I don't think he can do that. I think he can give Tank a fight. I think he can keep Tank out off his ass for a good bit of the fight. And if you win it off points by, let's say, round 5, then you're good. Because Tank then now has to make it up. But if you go in there trying to like bully Tank, you're gonna get your ass whooped. Like you're gonna get your ass whooped, man. Josh Parker. Josh Parker knocked out Bacoli. Bacoli, who had an amazing knockout matchup, a couple of fights ago against Big Baby Anderson. Um, knocked his ass out. McCoy got knocked out by Josh Parker about the second round. Now, he actually went to the fucking fight the day of the fight, so I don't really give that too much into. I don't really, put too much on that. I think if these two men were to fight and Bakoli had time to train, he had time to get ready for the fight, it might be a different conversation. But at the same time, Josh Parker has been killing shit recently. He has been in a lot of Josh Parker's fights. He has 100% knocked motherfuckers out. He did that to what? He did that to Deontay Wilder. He beat the shit out of Deontay Wilder. That shit was, ooh shit. That shit was bad. I watched that fight. I watched that fight. I like nigga throw in the towel. What are we doing? Like nigga throw in the towel. What are we doing? He beat the shit out of Deontay Wilder. Man, he beat that ass. Josh Parker is one of the best heavyweights right now. And I get that people don't want to give him that probably, but he's one of the best heavyweights in boxing right now. I want to see him against Usyk. I want to see him. Of course, he was supposed to fight Daniel Dubois, but Daniel Dubois had to back out. I think he got sick. I think he was. I think he was sick. Um, so he had to back out of the fight. I want to see him against Daniel Dubois. I want to see him against um um Usyk. I want to see him because it'd be an interesting fight. It would be one hell of an interesting fight to see that. Hopefully Daniel and him can actually get into the ring and actually do box each other eventually before the Usyk conversation kicks in. I get that people want Anthony Joshua to be the guy to go up against Usyk. Usyk has beaten Anthony Joshua 2 times now, bro. Like I'm pretty sure he can beat fucking Joshua in his sleep now. If Anthony Joshua is gonna go out there and go, if Anthony Joshua is gonna go out there, and fight, you know, Usyk, I guess, again, or somebody's gonna try to force that fight on us. Let that fight be actually something interesting and something that we actually want to watch and see. I don't feel like this is one of those times. Well, I would actually want to watch and see Anthony Joshua get another big ass opportunity. You got knocked out by Daniel Dubois. If you fight Josh Parker, I think Josh Parker beats the shit out of you. I think Josh Parker beat the shit out of Anthony Joshua. And this is again, it's casuals, not people that's actually watching this shit for real. Josh Parker will beat the shit out of Anthony Joshua. He beat the fuck out of him. It's not even close. He will beat the shit out of Anthony Joshua. I think he knocks. I think he knocks Josh. I think Josh Parker knocks Anthony Joshua out by like the fourth round. Again, you're looking at the name value, not the actual fight. The actual fight would be a fucking walkthrough for Josh Parker at this moment. Beat the shit out of him. He beat the shit out of him. I think if he would have fought Daniel Dubois, it would have been a great fight. It'd be very interesting. It would have been at least 6, 7, 8 rounds. Both would have tasted the ground at some point. It might even went to a 12th round. I don't fucking know. But I think it would have been a way more interesting fight than what the fuck we saw from Bacoli. Bacoli also, again, like I said, if you gave Bacoli another chance against Josh Parker, one on one, you train for 6 months, you train to fight him, it's a different conversation. I think it's a way different conversation that we are having right now. But yeah, Josh Walker knocked him out. I like how Bacoli tried to like play it off, like when that punch hit him, and he shook it off. He was like, "Nah, I'm good." Man, that nigga started to hit that. That nigga, whoop, whoop, whoop. Hit that crowd. That nigga said, whoop, 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 whoop. That nigga started dancing. I said, oh shit, no. That nigga said, whoop, 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 whoop. Yo, McCauley, yo, the dance had to, he knocked out Big Baby Anderson. Yo, off that alone, Baby Anderson should have knocked that nigga. That nigga, that dance alone should have made him want to go fight that nigga again. Fuck nah, you ain't gonna do no damn fight that on me after that fight. Fuck you. Hell nah. Run me my fade, my nigga. You gotta give me another one. Hell nah, dog. Hell to nah, dog. Fuck that. Nope. Nope. Fuck that. Bivol, uh, and Benavidez. Bivol and Benavidez. That fucking fight was great. Bivol and Benavidez, and Beecher. That fight was great, man. Uh, Arthur definitely. Bivol, I think Bivol realized he can beat him because Bivol was beating him in the third for the first 3 rounds. He was beating him. I don't know what the game plan was for Bivol, but it seemed like the game plan was okay. We're up three. Let him beat you now. Let him get all his power out. Because for 3 fucking rounds, from like the fourth to fifth to sixth, and it's kind of like the Lomachenko and Devin Haney fight, where that fight was so close early, but Lomachenko had just like these 3 rounds where he just beat the shit out of Haney, and you just looked at that round and was like, oh, Loma won. No, he didn't. He didn't win. But he dominated so much those 3 rounds that you just was like, God damn. The same thing happened in this fight where it was like Bivol kind of just let Arthur beat the shit out of him for like 3 rounds. It was just like from like the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. It was just like woof. It was like a ass whooping. I'm shocked Bivol didn't fucking hit the ground at one point in that fight. Like I'm shocked that he didn't hit the ground at one point because he was getting his ass whooped. Arthur was beating his ass in that fight. The fact that he didn't fall is fucking crazy to me because he was getting his ass with power, punching, everything. It was just bad, man. So, but it seemed like that was the game plan: get him to exert his power, take his power out, let him punch you, get it all out. By the 7, 8, 9th round, we're gonna get back to dominating him, and that's exactly what happened. By like the 7, 8th round, Bill started to beat the hell out of Arthur, and Arthur couldn't do shit about it. It it's a clear cut. This is. I think Bill was better than Arthur. I think he is. I think Dimitri Bivol is better because for somebody to have a game plan like the rope a dope at this point in boxing, like, to administer the rope a dope at this point in boxing, for somebody to be like, listen, man, let him punch you, let him get all that energy out, and by like the 7, 8, 9th round, we're gonna get back to what we do. Because Bivol was beating the hell out of Arthur for a good stretch of this fight. First to third rounds, Bivol was winning easily. It wasn't even a hard time to judge it. And then by like the 7, 8, 9th round, when Bivol kicked it back up a notch, it was clear as day. Like, no, Bivol can win this fight easily. Like, if he really wanted to, he can assert his power. He can insert that he's better than him. I thought Bivol won the first one. So it's not Dimitri Bivol. I thought Bivol won the first one. So I'm not that surprised that these two had another great fight. Do I think it's gonna be a third one? It should be before David Benavidez fights Demetrius Bivol or Arthur. It needs to be a third fight. It needs to be a trilogy. What will happen? I think they fight. I think they should fight. It's February now. September, October be a great time to have the third fight. And then next year, whoever wins that third fight fights David Benavidez. Now I don't know how long David Benavidez is gonna be sitting there being like, all right, I sit out for fucking months to see how this plays out. But we shall see. This weekend, Tay Davis returns to fight Lamont Roach. This weekend. What do I think is gonna happen? Like every Tank fight, he's gonna give up the points early. As long as he don't get caught with something crazy, Tank is pretty much gonna win the fight. As long as Tank don't get caught with something crazy, he's probably gonna win the fight. And I know that sounds whatever about some people. I know that kind of sounds whatever, but I'm dead ass serious. If as long as Tank don't get caught with something fucking absolutely fucking crazy, Tank will slow it down, get back to a point where he was like, okay, wrap it up. You gotta kick it into a gear, and when you kick it into a gear, you can't keep him off you. And if Lamont doesn't have the power to keep Tank the fuck off of him for a very long time, extensive amount of time, he's probably gonna lose. So we shall see. Basketball. So the 76ers is a really good team on paper. But if you actually look at the 76ers this year, they have pissed away opportunities after opportunities. And that is why they are my first team for the NBA that I believe it's time to blow it up. It's time to get rid of it. Philadelphia 76ers. I don't know what you're waiting for. I don't know what you're trying to figure out. I don't know what you're trying to create. I don't know what it is. Joel Embiid has been more injured than healthy in his years. Joel Embiid's been more injured than healthy in all of his years he's played. It's kind of hard to now turn to a situation and think that, oh, if the Philadelphia 76ers just if Joel Embiid just gets healthy, bro, I've been hearing that for years. Joel Embiid is getting to the point now where he's becoming damage goods, and you can't fix that. There's nothing you can do to fix Joel Embiid the way he is. He's broken. He's broken. It's over. Let it move on. Paul George is somebody you brought in to try to be the guy to kind of help if Joel Embiid didn't have these, like, if Joel Embiid started to get hurt like he is getting hurt, you brought in Paul George to kind of help this team. He ain't done shit since he been there. He got signed. He came to the Philadelphia 76ers. Ain't done shit since he's been there. Is Paul George over? Is he done? Was last year his last really good year for the Clippers? Was that the last really good year of Paul George? It started to look like it. It started to fucking look like it. The only good piece you have in Philly is Tyrese Maxey. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. You have no good piece in Philly outside of Tyrese Maxey. It goes back to the decision that you made to keep Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris over Jimmy fucking Butler. Look at Jimmy Butler right now with the Warriors. The decision you made to keep Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris will always be the undoing of the Philadelphia 76ers. It will always be the undoing of the Philadelphia 76ers. You could have kept Jimmy Butler, traded Ben Simmons when he still was somewhat of a piece, a commodity piece. Could have traded him, and you could have traded let Tobias Harris walk in free agency, and yet you let Jimmy Butler walk, kept Tobias Harris, and kept Ben Simmons. Joel Embiid, as great as he has, as great as Joel Embiid was supposed to be for his career, he hasn't done it. He's got one MVP in his career, and that's it. The man is re-injured. He's got a knee injury or some shit. He needs surgery again. He played in the Olympics and really didn't do shit in the Olympics when he was actually supposed to get surgery. I don't know what the fuck Philly's doing, and it's time to blow it up. It's over. I don't know if you can even get a trade partner for Joel Embiid. I don't know if you can get a trade partner for Paul George. I don't know. What I do know is this: it's time to blow it up. There's nothing more that you can do with this team. This big three of the Philadelphia 76ers have fucking sucked. It's not good. They haven't grown. They haven't changed anything. They haven't fixed anything. Tyrese Maxey should be the leader of your team. I said this when you brought in James Harden. I said, why the fuck are you bringing in James Harden when you got Tyrese Maxey? That dude is ready to be the guy. I've been saying for fucking years that Tyrese Maxey was the guy. But you kept trying to pair him up with some fucking other person. And it's time to cut the bait. It's time to let it go. It's time to blow it up. It's over. Philly has now officially hit the point of no return. Joel Embiid's not getting better. He's not getting healthier. He's getting older and getting hurt. So his recovery time is getting more longer for him to get back to what he used to be. It's over. Paul George, this may be really his last year of even being somewhat capable of putting up 15 points in a game. He's another one that's getting older and he can't get back to where he used to be. Blow it up, figure it out from there. Look at Phoenix. Try to see if you can make a deal for, I guess, Bradley Beal and flip Joel Embiid. Phoenix is a big man. Phoenix needs a big man, and you need a average 20-point score. Bradley Beal will be at least rejuvenated with Philly because he knows Tyrese Maxey needs him. Flip a contract for a contract. Paul George, I don't know who you flip for Paul George. I cannot even come up with that idea. If I'm I don't even know who you flip with Paul George. Because nobody's gonna want Paul George like that. I don't know who you flip for Paul George. I can't even tell you right now. Maybe Chicago. Maybe you look into Chicago situation and get picks from Chicago. As the on Atlanta, I don't even think the Hawks would even want Paul George at this point. Um, yeah, Washington. Maybe Washington. I know Washington's been trying to build something there, but if you know you ain't got nothing there, try to flip somebody. Go get you just traded Joel Embiid. Go get a Marvin Bagley from Washington. Trade Paul George, get some picks, and see what you can do with that in that combination. Bradley Beal, Tyrese Maxey, and Marvin Bagley. Why the fuck not? See what you can do. Figure it out from there. I would do that. I mean, that's kind of what I would do now. It's just like fuck it, flip it. Like you have nothing. Go through the all season situations. Go get somebody that you actually believe in, and build the team differently. This shit is over. It's done. It's finished. Put the shit to bed. Football. All right. So Green Bay Packers. The fact that y'all sat there with a straight face, the general manager today got on TV and at his presser at the Sky Combine and was like, "Yeah, we want to ban the touch push from Philly or the brotherly shove, whatever the fuck they call that shit. We want to ban it. Stop it. Not get players in the draft that can fix this shit, help us stop this shit. No, we want to ban the play because it's too fucking good, and only they can do it. So we gotta stop that. Only they can physically do it. They're not the only ones that can physically fucking do it, but they're the only ones that can physically fucking do it. Buffalo tried that shit and got nothing from it. Green Bay made themselves look so pussy today with that bullshit. When I heard that shit, I was like, bro, what the fuck? Are you serious? Are you fucking serious? That is like really what you're gonna do. You're gonna try to ban a play because you can't stop it? It's not a health concern outside of maybe the players that are doing it. But for you to sit there and try to ban a play because you can't stop it is the most bitch made shit I've seen some people do. I do in some years. That is some bitch made shit. God damn, Green Bay. Like, grow some fucking balls, bro. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Oh man, it's a play. It's a play that Philly can fucking physically do because they're that fucking good. But what's the saying? When you win a championship, everything gets looked at. If Philly would win into the Super Bowl and lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, this shit wouldn't even be. Well, it was a topic of conversation for a while, but this shit feels like it's a we can't beat them and we can't join them, so let's just ban them. That is the most bitch made shit I've heard in years. That is the most pussy made shit I've heard for a football team do in some years. Goddamn Green Bay, like seriously, grow some fucking balls, bro. Like goddamn, get better players that can fucking stop that. No, I want to cry about it and I want to bitch moan and complain about it instead of just drafting players that can physically fucking stop that move. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. That's too much. I want to go cry to the NFL and tell them to ban the play. Fucking bitch man, fucking people. God almighty. Um, Travis Kelsey. Travis Kelsey has said that he is coming back for another year in the NFL. I get it. I guess I get why you're trying to do it. I guess I wouldn't personally. I mean, listen, Kansas City feels like they're gonna go to the AFC Championship game again this upcoming season. We shall see. I don't think Denver's there yet. I don't think the Chargers are there yet. Baltimore, let's see what they do with the free agency. Buffalo the same, but Buffalo, I don't give a shit what I don't give a fuck what Buffalo's record is. As long as Kansas City's in the playoffs, you ain't beating Kansas City. I don't give a shit what your record is. You ain't beating Kansas City. I done seen them come to your house now and beat you. I done seen I done seen them come to your building and beat you in the playoffs. I done seen them beat you so many times in their building. When the game is online, you not winning. And I don't think Josh Allen's a better quarterback than Joe Burrow. So as long as and if Joe Burrow's in the playoffs, you ain't beating Joe Burrow. So yeah, I don't give a single solitary fuck that the Buffalo Bills might do this offseason. I don't give a shit. They gonna lose. What Shannon Sharp say? Every time Lakers, KFC, OKC, I don't care. Lakers in five. Same thing with Buffalo Bills. I don't care if it's I don't care if it's the YMCA, Jenny Craig. I don't give a shit. You ain't beating the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. You ain't getting it done. You ain't winning this shit, bro. I can't rhyme like him. I ain't got that type of energy. But yeah, you ain't beating the fucking Buffalo. Buffalo, you ain't beating Kansas City in the fucking playoffs. Are you fucking kidding me? You ain't done it yet, and I don't think you're gonna ever do it. You ain't done it, and you ain't gonna ever do it. So congratulations to Travis Kelsey. I guess he wants to stay in the league for one more year, try to get another ring. But dude, you are literally a decoy now. I don't think the offense is even centered around you, which is great for you possibly, but yeah, I guess, man. Do you think? Do you fucking think, dude? Which brings me to draft and sign. Last week I started this with the Tennessee Titans. Talk about the Tennessee Titans, who I think the Tennessee Titans should, what they should really do with the draft, and what they should really do with their draft, and what they probably will do with their draft. And also who they should sign during the off season. But today I'm doing the Browns, Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns are in a very interesting situation. Cleveland Browns should be thinking about a rebuild. That's what they should be thinking about. When Miles Garrett comes up to you and says, "Man, listen, I want to trade," and immediately people in the media is like, "Oh, it must be for money." No, motherfucker, it's not. I see the writing on the wall. We're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We're not getting better. We're not going to turn this shit around. You fucked the franchise up fucking trading everybody to go get Deshaun Watson and has not worked out for us at all this whole time. You fucked the franchise up, and instead of you now cutting up with that and understanding that, you want to now keep me for no reason at all. It has nothing to do with money. I'm never going to win here. And instead of people admitting that and saying that, now they're trying to kind of say that. That is your way out, Cleveland. Trey Miles Garrett. Nick Chubb is a free agent. Don't go resign him. Think about trading David Najabi. Think about trading Denzel Ward. Think about maybe having a conversation with Gary Newsom about Gary Newsom. Figure it the fuck out. Cleveland has put themselves in such a situation where you can actually fix your team in about 2.5 years if you actually have a good fucking draft. That's the key. This past draft for Cleveland that they just had was a fucking head scratcher. I don't know what the fuck they were drafting. I was in Vegas with my brother Juan, and we were watching this draft. I'm like, what the fuck is Cleveland doing? Like, what the fuck are you doing? It was so fucking bad. It was a bad fucking draft. And now they draft number 2 overall this year. What I think Cleveland should do, what they should do when it comes to free agency, since free agency is first, is go get a quarterback. Go get a quarterback. I don't think you drafting one with the pending Deshaun Watson situation still over your fucking head is gonna fix anything. You don't have the horses offensively right now to just go plug in somebody. Now, I think Kevin Stefanski is a hell of a head coach. I think Kevin Stefanski is one hell of a head coach. But even he knows we're not fixing this shit. And on top of that, you're in the toughest fucking division in football. I don't give a fuck what it looks like. That is a 3-team playoff division every fucking year. They were lucky. The NFL was extremely fucking lucky that the Cincinnati Bengals did not start hot. And again, that's on Zach Taylor. He got shit together. That's fucking ridiculous. The AFC North is literally a 3-team playoff team division every fucking year. Every single fucking year. You know the Steelers are going to win. You know the Steelers are going to win at least 10 games. It don't matter what quarterback they got. They're going to win 10 games. As long as they got Mike Tomlin, and they're going to win 10 games. Baltimore is the cream of the crop of the AFC. They're going to be one of the best teams in the AFC every goddamn year. As long as they got Lamar Jackson and I got Henry, If Zay Flowers is healthy, they go get another receiver. And that defense continues to grow like it's growing every year. Baltimore's a perennial AFC division round team every year. Every year. And then, of course, you got the Cincinnati Bengals. If they can just start off fast, I'm not saying you got to win all 4 games in September, but go 2-2. Nigga, you gonna off like nigga, like October, November. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and maybe T Higgins if he's still there, they're going to be dominant. And then if they get their defense fixed, Cincinnati's in the playoffs. The Browns is what I'm trying to say is the Browns are in literally the worst division to try to play hardball, motherfuckers. You ain't getting no better, dude. You're picking second this year. The Steelers, the Bengals, the fucking Ravens, the Bengals are picking in the top 15. The Steelers are picking top 20. Ravens are picking in the 20s. You picking second. You picking second. You're picking second. Rebuild this shit. Go get a quarterback. Same thing I said with Tennessee last week is the same thing I'm saying about this. If you are not committed to drafting a quarterback out the goddamn gate, then don't go get one. It is stupid. Unlike Tennessee, Cleveland actually has a quarterback lingering over their goddamn heads and a contract. Figure out why do all that work. Go get a goddamn quarterback off free agency. Go get Geno Smith. Go get Sam Howell. Go get Justin Fields. You don't have to see. This is unlike Tennessee. You don't have to commit to a guy. Deshaun Watson contract I think comes up a little bit more easily for you next year. Better draft class for quarterbacks. Way better draft class for quarterbacks. You're not gonna be in a good situation next fucking year. What you're gonna win? What maybe 2 more games? Maybe one this year that you're probably gonna win 2 more games. Maybe sign a quarterback. Don't sign to a crazy deal. Get a 2-year quarterback. Like I said, go get a Geno Smith. Go get a Justin Fields. Go get a Russell Wilson. Go get somebody that you know you don't have to commit to like that. Maybe get a 2-year deal with a 1-year option, your team option. Drop him next year. Draft a quarterback. Figure out the Deshaun Watson situation and get rid of Deshaun Watson. What you should draft is maybe you should maybe think about maybe drafting the kid from Penn State, a dual. I would also look into offensive lineman. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like that. I said the same thing with Tennessee. I would also look into offensive lineman. This is one of those times where yeah, you could maybe get a dual Carter, but Mason Graham is in conversation here. Mason Graham is in the conversation here. This isn't just get a dual Carter. Mason Graham from Michigan is also in the conversation here. Defensive lineman. It doesn't matter if he's an edge or he's defensive tackle. Go get something. But I would also be very obvious and say so. Do not just sit there and think you can't go get an offensive lineman too. If you are the Cleveland Browns, go get an offensive lineman. Fuck it, go get an offensive lineman. So yeah, but that is I Believe Sports. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll be back next week. Talk about the tank fight. Everything's going on in basketball and anything else that's happening in sports. I'll talk about that. But until next time, it's I Believe Sports. Peace.